Hi, I'm Dave Turner, the Executive Vice President of ENCO Systems. And today I'd like to talk to you about HotShot. ENCO's HotShot product was designed to create large numbers of random access keys for operators to play live bumpers, sound effects, and various things that they need to find very quickly but have a large array of them. The HotShot 3 product that is our current offering has an interesting layout to allow the operator to not only have the random access playback of a large array of buttons, but it also has the ability to sort of organize things within that array to make things that are somewhat scripted flow a little more quickly. If you take a look at the screen, the top row of buttons up here are the page buttons. This system uses a 2-digit page number and allows you to have from 0 to 99 pages. And each of the pages contain this area of hotkeys, which is 50 buttons. So you have quite a few buttons here, 50 times 100. So 5,000 cuts that you can place into this thing and be organized for an operator to access. So the way that this works is each one of these buttons is a hotkey, and I can select it. But that presets it onto the large buttons down here. These large buttons along the bottom of the screen here allow me to have very large buttons to use with a touch screen so that I can play via the touch screen. And you also may notice that I have a keypad here. This keypad has a button layout that is exactly the same as what's on the interface up here. And so it allows me to operate my entire show just from this one little keypad sitting on my audio console. If I wanted to move through this page, I could manually select a button and preset it here. But the beauty of this interface is it's designed with the next and previous buttons here, or these two buttons down here, that I can sequence through the hotkeys. So if I press next, you'll see how the gray square moves along here. And you also see how the highlight button on the keypad moves along here. So by using any of the methods, touchscreen, mouse, or keypad, I can select the element I want and play that and stop that. And this just keeps wrapping down the page. So as if I want to go down to a lower element here and skip around, I can then move back and forth from that element. So it's very easy for the operator to use. And with the banks, 99 banks, they might get a little confusing with just a number. So we've provided the ability to, on any bank, you can go into the configuration file and you can type in here, I'm going to put Dave's Bank in here. And then when I exit this, you'll see it says Dave's Bank. So now if I step to another bank that's not named, I come back to Dave's Bank, there's Dave's Bank. And you can have quite a few letters defining what that bank is, so you can get pretty descriptive. Oftentimes this is used in a multi-segmented show, and so the elements that might be in one segment are laid out in order of how the operator thinks they're going to happen. So he can very easily, even in a dark control room with this nice backlit key panel, he can step through each of them and play them in succession. But he also has the ability at any time to play something out of order, just select a different button and play that directly. So then the next segment might have a different bank number. And so if you do a show that might be done out of order, where the segments aren't produced in order, or they might be produced whenever things are available. So the operator can then just say, or if we're going to do a certain segment, I go to that segment number on the page, and I'm set and ready to go. So the operation is pretty straightforward, and that basically does it. You have the big buttons here that not only can run from this keypad, but there are various options that let you remote these to other buttons if you wanted to do something from your console directly. The other thing that I showed the bank buttons here, and lets you step through these banks. But if you wanted to go like from 1 to bank 44, I can just type 44 on my keypad here, and then it'll go right to bank 44. If I want to go back to bank 1, 0, 1, and it goes back to bank 1. If I want to go to a single-digit bank like bank 3, I can just hit the 3, and after a second, it'll time out and go to bank 3. So go back to bank 1 and talk a little bit more about the system. I showed you in the config file how you can give the banks names. But there's other functions in here. One of particular interest is the profile. All of the buttons that I program in this might be important to me and might be something that I need to use on a once a week kind of basis. So I can take the collection of all the pages and everything I programmed on those pages and save that in a profile that allows me to go back after a certain amount of time and load that profile up and be able to use it again. And this is also useful if you network these together. These are fully networkable, and all the data can be shared between them, and you can have profiles so that I may have done a production in Studio A, but now I'm going to do the same production in Studio C. I can go to Studio C and load up my profile, and then I have all the different buttons that I programmed previously for that. You'll also see down here there's a section where you're able to change the output channel assignment. Our HotShot products can support multiple output channels. Generally 4 is the sweet spot. And so if you wanted to lay these out so that adjacent things are on different channels, so that you can do crossfades on the audio console, then you just rearrange the programming of what channel the output is sent to, and you're able to do that very, very easily. So that's pretty straightforward. The next question is, how do I get things into the system and utilize them? Well, there's numerous ways, and one of the easiest is somebody runs in and has a USB drive that's got something on it that you need to get on the air right away. Well, you see on the interface here there's a green button, and I've got a USB drive plugged into the unit, and it's telling me I got a 4 gig drive in there. If I click on this button, it gives me a directory of what's on the drive, and I have some audio files in here. And let me get to a page where I've got some space. So I'm going to go back down to 00. There's nothing on this page. And within my audio files now, I'm going to find an audio file in here, and I can drag it directly onto a button. And what that has done is not only put it on the button so that it is available for me to play instantly, but it has also made a copy of that and inserted it into my library so that I can utilize all my sorting and searching and library maintenance functions to find that again for future reference if I ever want to use it on another page. Here's another audio file, this time an MP3. I drag it directly onto the button, and you saw that little loading going on. During that loading, it was converting that file to WAV for use within the system, because that's what I've got the default file format set to. So now this file is available for playback. Very easy to get things into the system. There's also the possibility to drag things into the library if you're working in sort of a library management mode. The button on the user interface that pulls up our library here gives you access to all of its power. There's large groups of organization available here with these tabs. The tabs are categories that also show up in this list. So I can select a category by that list, or I can go to any of these tabs. I don't have much categorized on this machine. But so you're able to search in here. If I want to find something with sky, if I want to find sky, here's a couple things with sky, Mr. Blue Sky. And then I can drag that directly onto a button, and I can play that button. It's also possible to audition it in the library. This has playback features. It also has edit capability, so that if I want to go in here and set up my heads and tails, I can zoom out to see more of the cut. I can set a head. I can go to the end. I can set a tail and save that. And now that's how that element will play the next time it's played. This is particularly useful on those MP3s. If I go back to this, where did I put it? I put it on 0. If I go back to this page, and this was the MP3, if I right-click, I can directly go to the editor on this. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is not really edited very well. My heads and tails are not where I want them to be. I could manually set these and save it, but we also have a quick set function in here. So if I right-click on this button and I go to trim, it will automatically set those features or set the head and tail. So if I look at the editor now, you see this one got moved out, and I can change this level. I got it set for -35. I can set it to whatever level I want to automatically trim that cut to. So it's very easy to instantly trim something up. Let's see what this looks like with an edit. That's tone, so I mean it's nothing interesting to see there. Anyways, it can be really handy when somebody just gives you something quickly and you throw it in the system and you don't have time to even open it up and edit it. You just hit the trim button, it automatically sets the head and tail to the levels that you set. So the library also has a number of other features in here. Every one of these columns can be sorted. So if you want to find the shortest thing in the library, I can click on length and it's the shortest. If I click on length again, I get the longest. So lots of power in here in the library to find things. And also there are multiple libraries available. You can set up as many different libraries, each of which hold 100,000 cuts. So there's a lot of material you can put in here and organize, and these search functions and the grouping functions work across all the libraries. So it's very, very powerful. So that's how the operator interfaces with the system, how the library is set up that you can put things into the system, and then how you can get them on the buttons and organize them to be used. So that's pretty much what a user would do with this system. But there's also the ability to control this remotely. So you could have a video production system or a master control switcher, something that needs to have audio inserted along with control that it feeds it. We can be slave to various devices like that, and we can also connect to various things to trigger this system. For instance, these big 4 buttons across the bottom here can be remoted to buttons on your console so that you could play elements just like you can on this keypad directly from the console. So that's pretty much it for HotShot. A lot of flexibility, a lot of buttons, a lot of audio, and a very powerful database to allow you to organize and find these things and place them in the proper places for you to use. If you have more questions, take a look at our website at www.enco.com or give us a call at 1-800-ENCO-SYS. For ENCO Systems, I'm Dave Turner. Thanks for watching.